Peace and love, everyone. Peace and love. Now, today I'm going to go explain the second treatise of the great Seth. I visited a bodily dwelling. I cast out the one who was in it previously, and I went in, and the whole multitude of archons was disturbed, and all the physical matter of the archons, along with the powers born of the earth, began to tremble when it saw the likeness of the image, since it was mixed, and I was the one who was in it, not resembling him who was in it previously. For he was a worldly man, but I am from above the heavens. I did not refuse them on the one hand, and I became Christ. So I was talking about the soul entering the body, becoming a Christ. So this is referring to Yeshua entering the human form, physical body, just the vessel holding the soul, which in return he become a Christ, achieves Christ consciousness, just like we can do. We can all become a Christ. This is why the multitude of archons were disturbed, being multitudes of negative people being disturbed by this higher mind person. Even now, these evil sort of people that run the world, become disturbed by other people's light when it's in huge multitudes. They freak out. All we need to do is stand up and their board game's over, pretty much. And this means says not resembling who was in that body previously, being reincarnation. So soul goes into many forms, many bodies, many materials. But on the other, I did not reveal myself to them in the love which was coming forth from me. I was revealing that I am a stranger to the regions below. There was a great disturbance in the whole earthly region, with confusion and flight, and in the plan of the archons, and some were persuaded when they saw the acts of power which were being accomplished by me. And they flee, namely, all these who are descended by race, from the one who fled from the throne to the Sophia of Hope, since she had previously given indication concerning us and all those who were with me. This is being said. When they saw the power within him, the power within all of us, they become disturbed. They freak out. You are more powerful than what you realise. The ones in charge don't want you to realise how powerful you are. They don't want you to realise what you are, an eternal mind, capable of so much more, of ascending beyond higher forms of intelligence. And ultimately, finding our path to no longer need to reincarnate, no longer need to evolve, to be one with Sophia, one with the Father, one with the Father-Mother, cosmic conscious mind. That is all of us as a universal mind, pretty much. As the source, pure energy. And this being said, with some being persuaded, means through acts of good, they've turned a new life around. Though not everyone's able to do this in this life. These of the race of Adonius, yet others fled as those sent from the world ruler, and those with him, and brought every punishment upon me. And there was a flight of their mind about what counsel they would take concerning me, thinking that their greatness is the all, and speaking lying witness against the man also, and the whole greatness of the assembly. It was not possible for them to know who the Father of truth is, the man of greatness, and these took the name because of pollution and ignorance, which is a burning and a vessel, which they created for destruction of Adam, which they had made in order to cover up those who were equally theirs. Now, this being said, when Christ is doing all that he was doing, they become jealous. They sent lying witnesses against him. They aim to go kill him, but you can't kill the soul. You can only kill the flesh. This being said, They fear that goodness within you, your light that you can carry, because your light can inspire others. So they're afraid of our greatness. They don't know the Father. They don't know the Father, Mother mind. They don't comprehend it. They just focus on ruling above others, rather not seeing their connection to the source, saying all life is sacred. Letting love guide their actions instead of letting fear and anger control their actions in order to control others, using fear and anger as a tool for their own benefits. And this is what the pollution is, in ignorance. The pollution and ignorance clouding their mind, clouding their soul. They're caught in material things, caught in earthly possessions, wealth and greed and anger. This is why we're all equals. They don't want us to be equals because we're so much capable of so much more. Once we're all equal, their game comes to an end. They no longer have more power than the rest of society. But they, the archons belonging to the place of Yaldabaoth, lay bare the circuit of the angels. This is what humanity was going around seeking, because they did not know the man of truth. For Adam appeared to them, the one whom they had fashioned, and a disturbance of fear occurred throughout their entire dwelling, lest perhaps the surrounding angels stand against them. For on account of those who were offering praise, I died, though not in reality, because their archangel was vain. And then a voice of the world ruler came to the angels. I am God, and there is no other besides me. But I laughed with joy when I considered his conceit. And he kept saying all the more, who is man? And the entire army of his angels who had seen Adam and his dwelling were laughing at his smallness. So it's been said, Christ is laughing about this God, saying, I am God, I'm the only God. It's jealous and all this sort of crap. Saying, get rid of this shit. Rather, this is just inventions of men to control others. When they're saying, who is man? Who is man? Man is the Holy Spirit. Man is Mother Earth, Sophia. Adam being the first human in a sense, with Adam and Eve in a sense, but that being said, the first human be able to control the elements, be able to tell what the weather is. We've lost that ability. We can't sense the weather anymore. There was an ancient tribe that could sense when the tsunamis were coming, so they were able to go onto higher ground. Rather, we're just intellectual animals. Rather, to put on the cloak of humanity is to have our compassion. Humanity, to actually be human is mean have humanity, to ascend. We can put on the perfect man, though it's temporarily. Perfect man being Christ, being with outweighing his own needs and outweighing his own needs for the rest of humanity. So being a light seeker, being the perfect man, doing only good. We're not capable of such things, of disregarding everything and just going out purely helping others. But that being said, as a human being, we must find balance. It's a new age, it's a new society. So we're going to find balance with ourselves in order to ascend and evolve into such great and new heights. He was so advanced into his other age, he would have gone into the Pelorama, no longer needing to reincarnate, no longer needing to evolve unless choosing so. This is what we're all capable of, ascending to higher forms that are beyond the mindset of what we have now. So it's being said, we're laughing at his smallness, saying, I'm the only God. All these other angels, other gods serving under him are laughing under him. Same with a high king, the other sort of kings will scuffle under him, laugh and say, total dick, thinks he controls all the power, but he hasn't got full, total loyalty. There's still some deceit there. Two-tier societies don't work. And in this way, their thought came to be removed away from the greatness of the heavens, who is the man of truth, whose name they saw because he is in the smallness of a dwelling place, since they are foolish in the senselessness of their vain thought, namely their laughter. It became defilement for them. The whole greatness of the fatherhood of the Spirit was resting in its places, and I was with him, since I have thought of a single emanation from the eternal ones, and the unknowable ones, undefiled and immeasurable. The unknowable ones being us, pure conscious mind, the pure conscious thought of the mother-father mind, a union of all of us, negative and positive energy, that makes up this fabrication that holds this universe together and co-creates life with the universe in a sense. So we brought forth this universe, we brought forth everything, energy, all, in a sense, it's all of us connected. That continues going in a spiral. And a lot of foolishness and stuff like that, angerness and small-minded people becomes their dwelling place. They're not able to break through this. So it's constantly defiling them, who they truly are, not ascending. Instead, they're descending into lower levels of being. I placed the small Enonia in the world, having disturbed them and frightened the whole multitude of the angels and their ruler, and I examined them all with burning and fire on account of my thought, and each of their activities they did on account of me, and trouble and fighting arose around the seraphim and cherubim, since their glory will perish, and the disturbance which is around Adonis, this side and that, and around their dwelling, reaching to the world ruler, and the one who said, let us seize him. Others again said, the council shall not come to be, for Adonis knows me because of hope. And I was in the mouths of lions, and as for the council which they planned about me against destruction of their deception and their foolishness, I did not give in to them as they had devised, and I was not afflicted at all. Or I should continue here. Those that were punishing me. So this being said, you can't kill a Christ. You can only kill the flesh. You can't kill your soul. You'll just be back. So they can kill you off for this knowledge. You'll just be back and bring forth even greater knowledge in your next life. And this being said, with all those people that are all in their high glories now, their glories will perish. They won't have a two-tier society forever. Eventually, we go through cycles, we go through ages. We ascend, we descend, we ascend. What goes down must come up. What goes up must go down. So we're due for our golden age. We've had our wars, we're having our wars, we're having our rebellions, we're having two-tier societies. We're now evolving to the extent we're saying enough is enough. Freedom, love, peace, compassion, unity. Those there punished me, yet I did not die in solid reality, but in what appears, in order that I not be put to shame by them. Because these are part of me, I cut off the shame from me, and I did not become faint-hearted at what happened to me at their hands. It's been said, the soul, they can't kill the soul, they can only kill the flesh. They can't defile the soul, only the flesh, so it departs. So they can't kill you. They can only kill your flesh. They can't kill your eternal mind. The soul seeks compassion, learning, and experience. It will keep going until it ascends into its higher forms of reality and returns home, in a sense. I was about to become a slave to fear, but I was struck merely according to their sight and thought, in order that no word might ever be found to speak about them. For my death, which they think happened to them in their error and blindness. When you kill another person, you're pretty much killing off humanity. You're killing a part of yourself. So with them doing these acts to Jesus, they were killing a part of themselves, killing a part of their humanity, going to war, killing all that sort of stuff. This is why we have a split in our brain. It's caused through de-evolution, evolution, and mostly it is caused from trauma. Seeing natural catastrophes, war, killing, death, struggling to survive, and seeing children die and stuff. This goes for animals and stuff too. They mourn. They nailed their man up to their death, for their minds did not see me, for they were deaf and blind, but in doing these things they rendered judgment against themselves. As for me, on the one hand they saw me, they punished me. Another, their father, was the one who drank the gall and the vinegar. It was not I. They were hitting me with the reed. Another was the one who lifted up the cross on his shoulder, who was Simon. Another was the one on whom they put the crown of thorns. So, crown of thorns. But I was rejoicing in the height over all the riches of the archons and the offspring of their error and their conceit. So this being said is, once again, they can't kill off a Christ. They can only kill off the flesh. But he's laughing at all this sort of stuff because what he's done is he's abolished their old gods. So he's saying he's a sacrifice to that. Not for all our sins. No, he's dying to wake the people up to their own divinity. So he's trying to get rid of religion. They twisted up his words and all that, but he knew whatever gets lost will eventually be found. He knew his words were going to be twisted. He knew eventually they're going to find it, and we're going to, higher minds are going to understand his teachings, the age of now. This is why they hid the Gnostic writings, because they were a threat. They wake the people up. They wake you up into higher forms of reality so you can ascend. Gnosis, is about knowledge and self-experience. So the ones of these archons, evil material rulers, their offspring are just the ones that are ruling the world today. It's just words for first material rulers, first kings. First ones trying to control us. They try to control us with kings. They try to control us with religion. They try to use government. We go through ages and cycles. We brought forth a government because of the corruption now. They're starting to get corrupt too. We're bringing forth this new world now. All we got to do is keep standing up. And I was laughing at their ignorance, and all their powers I brought into subjection. For when I came down, no one saw me. For I kept changing my forms, above transforming from appearance to appearance, and on account of this, when I was at their gates, I kept taking their likeness. For I passed them by quietly, and I was viewing the places, and I did not fear, nor was I ashamed. For I was undefiled, and I was speaking with them, mixing among them through those who are mine. And I tread on those who are harsh to them jealousy, and the fire I extinguished. So this being said, this is when you find your inner Christ. You extinguish the old you. You are reborn as a new man, a new woman. You are reborn with total compassion. You see love. You let love guide your actions. You're not doing the same shitty things that control other people. You rule over that crap. You rule over this material plane. You rule over this material world. You see this material world as just an illusion. You see this life is so much more than this. Life is about seeking, having the best human experience you can have. He didn't come here to suffer. When he says speaking, he wasn't ashamed, he was mixing among them. He's mixing through all these emotions. He's seeing all this. He sees himself through others. Empathy. All these things I kept doing on account of my will, in order that this which I willed in the will of the Father above I might complete, and the Son of the greatness who was hidden in the region below. We brought to the height where I am with all these aeons which no one has seen or understood, where the wedding of the wedding robe is, the new wedding and not the old, nor does it perish. For the new bridal chamber is of the heavens and perfect. Now what is referring to is the union of the soul. Is while you have on this planet now, you seek your higher self, you are one with yourself. Thus, the true marriage of the bridal chamber, one with the bridal chamber, one with the mother father, the yin and yang, your masculine and feminine energy. So it's been said, this is why Mary Magdalene or Sophia is the bride of Christ. His other half, his feminine and masculine energy. It doesn't have to be another person, but it can also be within your own self. It was his consort. Every great master has a consort that has done such great things that other masters have not. They've also recognized their own elements within themselves. And not the old, nor does it perish. For the new bridal chamber is of the heavens and perfect. I have revealed that there are three paths which are an undefiled mystery in a spring of this aeon, which does not perish, nor is it partial, nor is it to be spoken of. Rather, it is undivided, universal, and permanent. For the soul which is from the height will not speak about the error which is here, nor transport itself from these aeons, since it will be transported when it becomes a free person and experience nobility in the world, standing before the Father without trouble and fear. So it's been said, until you're truly free, you'll be stuck in this prison. So it's been said that you're ascending to higher forms, you truly become a free person. Letting love guide your actions, not having this old fear and corruption control your life, being stuck in a little box. Rather, you see outside of that box and realize there was never a box to begin with. That you were the box, you created your own prison. So this being said, you must ascend beyond this self, and in a sense, you becoming true nobility. True riches the flesh can't touch. Standing before the Father without trouble and fear, always mixed with the mind of ideal power. They will see me from every side without hatred. For while they see me, they are being seen, being mixed with them. As for me, since they did not put me to shame, they were not shamed. As for me, since they were not afraid before me, they will pass by every gate without fear, and they will be perfected in the third glory. I was the one whose cross the world did not accept. My apparent exaltation, my third baptism, is an apparent image when they had fled from the fire of the seven authorities. Fled from the seven deadly sins, in the sense that his cross was rejected by this world, means his level of being was rejected by this world that was in his timeline. Though this timeline now, a new age, we are higher minded, we're able to understand this, we're able to look within our own level of being. Look towards our consciousness. What level of consciousness are we at? A higher level or a lower level? And seeing him from every side without hatred is seeing yourself without hatred, seeing your inner Christ. No longer letting the past define you or having this worry about the future, rather looking at the present and focusing on your level of being, constantly focusing on yourself, looking from within, reflecting on yourself, experiencing, practicing what you preach, constantly developing yourself. And the son of the powers of the archons set darkness over, took them, and the whole world become poor. After they bound him with many restraints, they nailed him to the cross, and they fastened him with 4 nails of bronze. The veil of his temple he tore with his hands. There was trembling that overcome the chaos of the earth. For the souls which were in sleep below were released, and they were resurrected. They walked about boldly, having laid aside jealousy and ignorance and unlearnedness, besides the dead tombs, having put on the new man, having come to know the blessed and perfect one of the eternal incomprehensible Father, and the boundless light which I am. So it's being said, when the Earl goes into a dark age, after they sort of killed Christ and went into a dark age, constant wars and fighting and stuff like that, he brought a bit of light to this world. But even after his death, he still brought this light to the world. It continued on for generations, ascending into higher levels. So people twisted the words and tried to use it for religion and control and fear and death. Though this is through jealousy and ignorance, we have now ascended through this, and we've resurrected from these old dead tombs and become a new life. So life is about constantly rebuilding yourself. So that is the resurrection in a symbolical sense. You becoming a new you. You're no longer the past you. You have a new higher level of consciousness. You have a different consciousness than what you used to have. You ascend. And the bondless light which I am is, your inner mother, father, God, that I am. Your inner Christ mind. Your inner Christ, your Christ consciousness. You found your compassion. When I came to my own and joined them with myself, there was no need for many words, for our thought was with their thought. On this account they understood what I was saying, for we took counsel concerning the destruction of the archons, and on this account I did the will of the Father which I am. We're all part of the Mother Father mind. It's being said, he is part of the Father mind. He is acting on this will. Your will is the Father's will. Your will is the Mother Father's will. Your masculine and feminine energy. Your eternal mind. So the destruction of the archons, destruction of his ego, destruction of his negative animal instincts, ushered in his humanity, being human. When we went forth from our home, when we come down to this world and came into being in the world in bodies, we were hated and persecuted, not only by those who are ignorant, but by those who think that they are advancing the name of Christ. Since they are vain in ignorance, they do not know who they are, like unreasoning beasts. So came from home, came from the Palorama into this body, seeking high levels of forms. The ones that do are hated and persecuted by this world. And these other people that do this today, they do it in the name of Christ. The ones that were killing off the Christians, the original Christians were doing it in the name of Christ, saying blasphemy, blasphemy. But they changed the words, mixed it in with pagans and stuff like this, and a control system, a political move to control others, fear. This is why they were in vain and ignorance. They're slowing the progression of humanity. So they're not who they are. They're unreasonable beast. Animal instinct controls them. They're not human. They haven't got their humanity. Those who were set free by me, they persecuted, since they hate them. Those, if they shut their mouth, would weep with groaning without profit, because they did not know me completely. So it's being said, they persecute those ones who become a Christ. The world can't understand them because they're above this material plane. They're in touch with their spiritual self and see the spiritual realm. They know there's higher levels of life, that we are capable of such more, that let love guide our actions. We are one with each other. We are one with this Mother Earth. We are one with this universe. Everything is consciousness. And this is why they were groaning without sort of profit, because they couldn't make money if people realised who they truly are. There's wealth the flesh can't touch. So it's being set free by me, being set free by your inner Christ. Instead, they serve two masters, even a multitude. But you will be victorious in everything, in war and battles and schisms of jealousy and anger. But in the uprightness of our love, we are without deceit, pure good, having the mind of the Father in an ineffable mystery. So, serving two masters, right? This being said, it's the people. They're serving their so-called God and the priest, being told what to do, blindlessly following, right? My nana said she was sick one day and she couldn't clean the church. The minister turned around and said, if you're a good Christian, you'll come and clean the church. Well, Nana was sick. She's really old. She's also one of the founding members of that church. She's older than that priest. She's been there before that priest, and she went there and cleaned the whole church, using the belief mind to control others. So these people blindly following, serving more than two masters, saying, I serve God and Jesus, but they're serving multitudes of people, serving their priest after that priest. They're serving what they think is Jesus. They think what they serve is God. But rather, Christ is within you. This God is a made-up construct. You are God. Rather, it's the Mother, Father, mind that we are all a part of this cosmic source. And once you sort of realise this, you'll win your battles of life. You'll win over your anger, your errors and trials. You'll let love guide your actions. For it, the world was a laughing stock. It is I who bear witness that it was a laughing stock, since the archons do not know that it is ineffable union of the undefiled truth, like that which exists among the children of light, of which they made in imitation, proclaiming the doctrine of a dead man. So it's being said, they made an imitation of the words of Christ after Christ's death to go control others. Imitation, not the real thing. Control, hate. Women submit to men. Control. Fear God, submit. Control. It's being said, it's a laughing stock. This material world, this material construct of rulers today is a laughing stock. Proclaiming the doctrine of a dead man and falsehoods to resemble the freedom and purity of the perfect assembly, to try to resemble freedom and the perfection of your inner Christ. They failed, though people believe this. So they have sort of succeeded, but they're failing now because these old scriptures have been found. People are starting to ask questions. We're starting to evolve. We're starting to get smarter, letting love guide our actions. We're saying no. We're starting to see beyond religions. This is why they want to hide these scriptures, because they're a threat. Uniting themselves in their doctrine to fear and slavery and worldly concerns, and discarded worship, being few and uninstructed. So Christ didn't tell them to do this. No, God did tell them to do this. They're doing it for their own reasons. Slavery, fear is what they're causing. And this is what these religions have caused: slavery, fear, and war. They do not accept for themselves the nobility of the truth, hating the one for whom they exist and loving the one for whom they do not exist. So all of us as a cosmic force, mother mind, is the reason why we exist. We brought forth this experience as a shared reality, seek compassion, learning, and experience. So they sense they're hating themselves and they love what doesn't exist. Their ego sort of sense, their foolish idea of two-tier society that they're gods. For they did not know the Gnosis of the greatness, knowledge of the greatness, that is from above and from the fountain of truth. It is not from slavery and jealousy and fear and love of worldly matter. For that which is not theirs and that which is theirs, they use without fear and with freedom. They do not convert because they have authority and a law from themselves over the things which they would desire. But those who do not have are poor, namely those who do not possess something and yet they desire it. And they lead astray those who through them are like those who have the truth of their freedom, so as to constrain us under a yoke and compulsion of concern and fear. So it's being said, this is using the control system of fear to control others, to blindly follow them and mislead others. Rather, that we are beyond this worldly affairs. Our eternal soul has nothing to do with these primitive emotions. It's pure energy, pure seeking experience, pure energy that keeps the life going around in a circle, ascending. Has no need for fear or anger. It's just energy. pure cosmic thought that can be expressed through us human beings or other intelligent life. From compulsion of concern and fear, this one is in slavery, and this one who is brought by compulsion of violence and threat has been guarded by God. But the noble born one of the fatherhood is not guarded, since he guards that which is his own by himself without word of compulsion. He is united with his will, this one who is the thought alone of the fatherhood, that the fatherhood may become perfect and unutterable through the living water. If it exists in wisdom among yourselves, without water no life. If wisdom exists within yourself, you go to higher forms of reality. These people guarding God, blasphemy against God, I'm going to kill you. So they're guarding this image. The fatherhood, the perfect father, mother mind, doesn't have guards. There's no need of this. It's just truth. It's just love. Rather, these ideas of God are war and destruction to control. Not only in a word of hearing, but indeed in fulfilled word. For the perfect are worthy to be established in this way, and they are joined with me in order that they may not share in an enmity. In the wholesome friendship I accomplish everything in the good one, for this one is the joining of the truth, that they should have no adversary. So, no enemy. You don't need this. You don't need enemies. Forgiveness. Ascending to higher forms of reality. Let love guide your actions. It's a joining of the deeper truth. Your higher mind. So being joined with Christ. You're being joined with your inner Christ. You are a Christ. Achieve Christ consciousness. Achieve the Son of Man for yourself. Achieve your humanity. But everyone who causes division, and he will learn none of their wisdom, because he has caused division and is not a friend. He is an enemy to them all. So being an enemy to humanity, if they're causing division amongst all these people that cause all this stuff like race and gender and all this stuff to divide all these people. Feminist people and even sexist males causing division. We're all human. Seek love, compassion, and peace and union, not these two-tier societies to divide human beings. All distractions. War solves nothing. But the one who lives in agreement and friendship of brotherly love by nature and not decree, wholly and not in part, this one is truly the will of the Father. So one who does love, not for gain, just because they want to help others and bring light to this world, bring a smile to this world, that is the will of the Father, the will of the Mother, Father mind, your higher mind, your inner Mother, Father, God. True compassion, true love. Love has no boundaries. Love seeks all. Love conquers all. Love is beyond everything. This one is the universal and the perfect love. Universal cosmic mind throughout this universe. Love. So it means our life would be out there as well. Would be gone through elements of us. There's everywhere. Wherever there's higher forms of life, there is love. For Adam was a laughingstock, and he was created from the image of a pattern of a man by the hebdomad. And though he had become stronger than I and my brethren, we were innocent with respect to him, since we did not sin. And Abraham was a laughingstock, and Isaac and Jacob, since they were given a name by the hebdomad, namely the fathers from the image, as though he had become stronger than I and my brethren. We are innocent with respect to him, since we did not sin. David was a laughingstock, since his son was named the Son of Man, having been activated by the hebdomad, as though he had become stronger than I, and the friends of my race. But we are innocent with respect to him. We did not sin. Solomon was a laughingstock, since he thought he was a Christ, having become arrogant through the head domad, as though he had become stronger than I and my brethren. But we are innocent with respect to him. I did not sin. The 12 prophets were laughing stock, since they had come forth as imitations of the true prophets. They come into being from the image of the head domad, as though it had become stronger than I and my brethren. But we are innocent with respect to it, since we did not sin. Moses was a laughing stock, a faithful servant, being named a friend. They bore witness concerning him in iniquity, since he never knew me. Neither he nor those before him, from Adam to Moses and John the Baptist, none of them knew me, nor my brethren. For a doctrine of angels is what arose through them to keep dietary rules and bitter slavery. They never knew the truth, nor will they know it. For there is a great deception upon their soul, and they have no ability to find a mind of freedom ever. So, this being said, all the prophets being said before Jesus were wrong. If they're giving out doctrines, follow these sort of codes, eat this, don't eat this, they're all wrong. So they're laughing stocks. Christ didn't do this. He just said, love another. Simply follow me. Don't follow religion. And you'll be all right. So find your own path. And the reason why they saying laughing stocks is because they're all acting by the will of God, not themselves. It's made up deity. The 12 disciples, why they were laughing stock, because Jesus said they're going to fuck up his word. Though he loved them, they still messed up his word. And they caused forth all these other religions. Then their words were hijacked and brought forth even more religions and more corruption. So in a sense, being a slave to religion. In order to know him until they come to know the Son of Man, so the Son of Man within themselves, until they come to know their inner Christ. Solomon thought he was a Christ, all these did things. He was just a material ruler, a king, trying to control others. David, a king, one that slayed Goliath. That can also have a deep meaning of slaying off his ego. But that being said, he did some nasty things as well. He had an old royal family lined up and killed them all. Killing women, men, children, and even animals. When they would go raid a city, they would kill everything, even people's pets. Destroy their houses, kill their children. Barbarity. Jesus condemned all of this shit. All man-made construct. But concerning my Father, I am the one whom the world did not know, and on this account it rose up against me and my brethren. But we are innocent with respect to it. We did not sin. For the Archon was a laughingstock, because he said, I am God, and there is none greater than I. I alone and the Father, the Lord, and there is no other besides me. I am a jealous God, bringing the sins of the fathers upon the children for 3 and 4 generations. So this being said, of this religion, going forth of these wars for 3-4 generations, going longer than that, still going on now. So generations before his time. So being said about this God being jealous, it's just man-made construct. This is not the Father. The Father, the Mother, being all of us as a cosmic mind, pure conscious thought, energy, the fabrication that holds this universe together, that co-creates and supports life. So he didn't say, I'm son of this God. He said, I'm son of the Father, son of the source. Our true mother, Father, is the source that creates our life and sustains our life. Mother Earth, the universe, matter. It's part of us all. And though he had become stronger than I and my brethren, but we are innocent with respect to him, for we did not sin. Though we mastered his doctrine in this way, he lives in conceit, and he does not agree with our Father. And thus, through our friendship, we prevailed over his doctrine, since he is ignorant and conceit, and does not agree with our Father. For he was a laughingstock with his judgment and false prophecy. World is going to end. Shit like that didn't happen. Jews, even some Christians, thought the world was going to end a couple of times. It didn't happen. There were a whole bunch of different Christian groups, and some of them changing stuff. So essentially, some Christians were doomsday cults. The Gnostics are the ones that had it right. They all said, no. Why concentrate on these silly things? Concentrate on your own ascension, your own divinity, not your division. And with God being stronger means they eventually killed off Jesus, a lot of his friends and his followers and stuff, his family. But in the end, his words prevailed over these false doctrines. We're seeing love and compassion. We're seeing these words return. People were leaving Catholic faith and Orthodox and Christianity and starting to become Gnosis. Even Muslims starting to leave their faith and become Gnostic. With Gnosis, it leads to a much better, harmonious world. If the Gnostics survived and weren't killed off, we would have free travel, free universal income. We would have free healthcare, universal healthcare worldwide. This is why they were killed off. They were a threat to the two-tier societies. O those who do not see, you do not see your blindness. That is who was not known. Neither did they ever know him, nor did they understand him. Concerning him, they would not listen to a valid report. On this account, they trained in a judgment of error, and they raised their defiled, murderous hands against him, as if they were striking the air. And the senseless and the blind are senseless always, being slaves always of law and worldly fear. I am Christ, the Son of Man, the one from you, who is in you. I am despised on your account, in order that you yourselves may forget what is changeable, and do not become female, lest you give birth to their evils and kindred things, to jealousy and schism, anger and wrath, fear and a divided heart, and vain coveting, which is not fulfilled. But I am an ineffable mystery to you. So this being said, as Christ is within you, so you achieve your Christ. And said, do not become female unless, with giving birth to evil, which means you're best off not being female if you want to bring forth the evil, just having sex with multiple partners, doing shitty things to your children, causing anger and hate and evil things for generations. It was better if you're not born, better you weren't female so you couldn't give birth to such evil and cause such evil things to ones that you're supposed to love. So ones that lead blind are always blind. Ones who are striking the Christ are striking thin air, because you can't kill a Christ. You can't kill the soul. You didn't come here to suffer. You come here to live the best possible human experience you can live. Peace, love, compassion, and unity. Let love guide your actions. Peace and love, everyone. I love you all. Connect to one, mind and soul. Namaste.